Hello and good morning. Welcome, members of the media, also online viewers, TV 15 viewers, also radio listeners on Tel TV Plus, St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, and respective radio stations island-wide. I'm Charity Dunker, and welcome to the live joint press conference on the MMA event that is slated for Saturday, December 3rd, 2022. Welcome to our press conference once again, and our date for today is Friday, December 2nd, 2022. At this time, I'd also like to welcome our guests who are here joining us today, along with the Honorable Minister, Acting Minister of TIAT, Omar Otley. He's also being joined by Mr. Elton Jones, the President of the Swaliga Professional Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Federation. Also, Mr. Jason Fraser, who is none other but the president of the Pan American International Mixed Martial Arts Association, also the president of the Caribbean Combat Association. He's also being joined, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Roger Evelyn, the administrator, also general secretary of the Caribbean Combat Sports Association. To all, welcome. Minister, I'll allow you to further elucidate on the event.
Thank you. Good day to the members of the media. This is truly an amazing day. We are here today to speak about the event that will take place Saturday, December 3rd at the L.B. Scott Sports Auditorium. When Mr. Fraser brought the idea to the Office of the Tourism, it stood out immediately. As a person that used to compete in the boxing, compete in the sport, I realized the importance of facilitating and promoting boxing throughout St. Martin. What is interesting about this event, it is not only a boxing event, it will have also mixed martial art. And that is something that is very exciting and growing in the sports world. I would like to thank everyone involved for making this possible. Mr. Fraser, for putting your trust in the government of St. Martin, putting your trust in the people of St. Martin, and in the fighters and coaches of St. Martin. Mr. Elton Jones, thank you for facilitating this on his behalf and making this a success. I look forward. I invite everyone to come out. This is truly what we call sports tourism. There'll be athletes from Jamaica, USA, Curacao, St. Martin, Dominican Republic, you name it. There'll be numerous countries flying in. Mr. Fraser will touch more on who all is here and who all is expected to come. But I do invite the public at large to come out. This is something that you don't want to miss. There'll be a boxing ring. There'll be a MMA ring. This is just truly an exciting event. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you here December 3rd, Saturday. And definitely it has the support of the Minister of Tourism, myself, and by extension, the government of St. Martin. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Acting Minister of TIAT, Omar Otley. At this time, I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Elton Jones, who is the president of the Swaliga Professional Boxing Association and Federation, please. Mr. Jones.
Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize the minister in the hall. I am Elton Jones. I am the president ad interim of the Swaliga Professional Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Federation. First, to start off, I want to tell you how we got here. This federation was formed. It was a brainchild of Mr. Milton Bobby Otley, who unfortunately can't be here. I don't know if he's going to get here tomorrow to see the first card we present. Due to illness, he had to pull back for a while. So we tried to keep it going. We started at this since February this year. Our first challenge was finding a suitable location. We have sought casinos, the tent on the port, the Carnival Village, but all of them, though they were to the size or so, they didn't meet the need in terms of being able to film wide word and live stream it out. And because of rain, the Carnival Village, even though it was ideal in size, if rain comes, everything goes down the bunch. So it took a lot of work, and we ended up in for us, the Old Glory, L.B. Scott Auditorium. We're going to do quite some work to spruce it up, to be able to, make an impression outside. What we want to send out is, why a reason you would want to come to St. Martin, why we think St. Martin should be one of the premier sports tourism destinations. This organization was formed, as I said, by Mr. Milton Otley, and the members are the treasurer is Ms. Concepcion, Ingrid Concepcion. The secretary is Onika Punch. The assistant treasurer is Akim Rouhan, and the assistant secretary is Raquel Couvreur, and I am the vice president. Until now, I am acting president. Both of us had some experience in promoting boxing, that is Mr. Otley and myself, but kickboxing, though we are accustomed of the sport, it was new for us, and mostly MMA. MMA is, as the minister said, the fastest growing sports in the world today. And if you talk to any young person, they'll tell you how they saw UFC last night or the night before, and the young people are really into the UFC. So we got introduced to Mr. Jason Fraser by Mr. Marco London, who is a kickboxer. And we wanted to introduce MMA, but we wanted to do it in grand style. So we came up with an idea to present a mixed card, have it televised to the world, and while we are introducing the sport here, we are selling the country as a main destination. And that is how the idea came to light. We are very pleased to have Mr. Fraser on board. We had quite some hiccups, as it goes backwards and forward, and everybody have to dot the I's and cross the T's before you get the go-aheads, which is normal. To you on the ground, it seems like frustrating because time is passing, but that's the way it goes normally, and you understand the workings of the corporate world and the government operation, especially in the December time when you're at the end of your budget and everybody is crunching. You're not going to get what you expect. But we're glad and we're satisfied, and we believe that we're going to present to St. Martin one of the best shows they ever had. We're going to present a new discipline of combat sport, MMA. It's new to people of our genre, our ages. I think the young people know more of it than us, like they know more of most things than us today. But I want to invite someone to come out, support the event. Something we didn't add in our press conferences before, the door is free for kids under 12. We want to get young kids to come out and enjoy the program, get interested in it, because we have another angle after this, how we're going to try and help the kids on the block, get them involved. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Roger Evelyn, who is one of the technical directors, who will give you some ideas on the safety needed or required in this sport. And from that, we'll go to the president, Mr. Jason Fraser. Mr. Evelyn.
A pleasant good morning to all. It's glad to be here in St. Martin, and we want to recognize all protocols being observed. It's indeed a pleasure to be here, and we want to add to the sports tourism initiative here in St. Martin. So Mr. Fraser touched base with me, and we decided to work on a sports pathway that will be able to enhance that initiative. But our clear focus is the safety of the athletes. We want to follow all guidelines and policies that WADA has in place. So we need to protect the athletes. People have this perception that MMA is a bit of barbaric sport. It's not. We follow high safety values and policies set by our IF. And one of the reasons for that is we want to shift away from that specific, mindset of having it as barbaric as most people seem to take it as. Added to that, our officials are highly trained to recognize injuries, to recognize anything that is happening in the ring at that particular point in time that could cause any impact on the athlete's safety at any point in time. Pertaining to medical issues, we know that most athletes are tested when it comes to blood analysis. So we are looking at specific criteria. If fighters don't follow those guidelines, they will not fight any clad, they will be replaced. I know Mr. Fraser have had a list of persons who didn't meet the criteria, so he's in a position now to replace those fighters. So we follow our IF guidelines, and the safety of the sports is very critical. And that is basically it for me when it comes to the health and safety of the athlete. I now pass you on to Mr. Fraser, the president of the IWMF Pan American Union. Thanks a lot.
I want to say a pleasant good morning to everyone. I want to recognize our Honorable Minister, Minister Audley. I remember the first time I met Minister Audley, there was another minister, Mr. Lawrence. Minister Lawrence, I think I got the name right, I hope. At the time, he was in charge of tourism, and Mr. Lawrence was one of the persons who really, really encouraged us to bring this event here. I can remember that first meeting. I'm not sure if Mr. Audley could remember that meeting, but out of all the ministers in the room, that was the minister that actually said, this is something that would benefit our island for sports tourism when we actually roll out the program of the type of the international reach that we could meet on our platform. So I want to thank the media who are here, because we know that the media is our vehicle to any development, whether it's the sports, school, community work, and so forth. So I really want to thank you all. And I want to say to my right, Mr. Elton Jones and the Soluga Group and the St. Martin Mixed Martial Art Federation under Marco London, the boat association who actually have us here in St. Martin. I want to thank them for the opportunity that we could actually, join with them and actually form a partnership to help develop young people and sport and combat sport on a whole. Firstly, I must apologize for Mr. Marco London, who I describe as an ambassador of St. Martin, an administrator, coach who has really achieved to the highest level internationally by carrying the flag of St. Martin in many tournaments. I know that he was a world champion at one time. It's unavoidable that he couldn't be here with us this morning. He has some matters at the state with his work, so he sent his apologies for not being here with us this morning. We have in St. Martin also the CEO of Rough and Tough, unavoidable. She is actually Anne-Marie Ramdeen. She is actually with some of the officials on the island trying to put things in place for the 12th hour. So she gave her apologies for not attending the press conference, as we need to actually prepare for tomorrow. Let us talk a bit about why we are here. In 2020, Marco London reached out to the International Mixed Martial Art Federation, which currently I'm sitting as the president for the Pan American. Knowing Marco for more than 18 years, and when he brought St. Martin forward, I thought it was a very good idea. It was without a doubt, I know that St. Martin would be in very good hands. And then later on in 2020, we start talking about how can we develop the sport here. On my first visit to the island, I fell in love with the island immediately. I saw sports tourism, I saw the warmth of the people, I saw a destination that is different within the region. We had a tough decision to make. I did mention that in my first meeting with the ministers. It's either we choose St. Martin or we go back to Antigua. And it caused a little fallout. And Minister Lawrence was like, well, you're already in St. Martin, so let us have the event here. Because we had this event before in Antigua, we had it before in Guyana, Tobago, Trinidad, St. Lucia, a few other countries, and it brought a lot of success, especially for the tourism development and the backlash that it will have with the reach that we have. I explained to the ministers that I met with that day that this is not just about sport. It's about development of young people, taking young people off the street. And sports is a $79 billion industry. But you have to start somewhere. We have to start from the amateur and then go into the semi-pro and then professional. Seeing that this island is an island that is known for boxing and also for kickboxing, it was important that we do a combat sport championship together. So we decided that we're going to create a historic event where we would have 3 disciplines under one roof in one night. So that is where we are at the moment. So introducing kickboxing here, MMA here, we found one professional athlete from St. Martin. And this athlete is well known. His name is Akeem Lewis. Akeem Lewis will definitely headline the card. Akeem Lewis, I know he's going up for a title fight against Castry Castle out of Jamaica, fighting out of the USA also. And that is going to be an exciting fight. We have Maki Telemac out of the French side. He'll be going up against John Granville from Curacao for another title fight. We have a number of athletes from St. Martin who is definitely going to be on the card tomorrow night. This event will be carried by ESPN. It will be carried by Afrosport and also Eurosport and the Caribbean Media Corporation. All right, so which is very important for us in order for us to export the talent and present this international platform for our athletes. I want to guarantee the people of St. Martin, this will not be the first event and it will not be the last event, because we're definitely going to come back. I'm happy that MMA will have an opportunity to put its stake in the ground, that we could come back and bring coaches, bring officials, develop officials, coaches, physiotherapists, to actually take over and grow the sport from the grassroots up. So this is a good opportunity for St. Martin. On behalf of the International Federation, I really want to thank the government for St. Martin for seeing the vision, for joining the vision, the Ministry of TIAT, the Division of Sport, to coming on board, and all corporate sponsors who actually support the event in St. Martin in kind. We really want to thank you all for your support. We know that it's a tough time, but we're going to make it happen. And at the end of the day, this event is definitely going to be a very successful one. We have to start somewhere. And I always believe that every journey begins with the first step. So this is our first step to greatness. We have the World Cup going on right now. And I believe that soon, within the next 2 or 3 years, we could have a world champion coming out of St. Martin if we all work together and put all hands on deck, from government, from corporate, from parents, from home, from schools and community. We could actually build something and produce world champions, Pan-American champions, Commonwealth champions out of St. Martin. And that is our main reason for being here. It's to actually develop the sport and have a collective effort within the region, within the Pan-American, to bring greatness out of the whole Caribbean region. This is St. Martin time. So I'm not saying it as the French side or as the Dutch side. I'm saying it as St. Martin. So I want to ask all of St. Martin, bring your mama, bring your papa, every businessman, come out, buy a ticket for one of your workers. It's a giveaway, basically, to attend the event. I'm really happy that we are here. Minister Otley, thank you for your support. And the government of St. Martin and a whole, thank every one of you all for everything that you all have done to make this event where we are for today.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. And also thank you, Minister, for the elucidation on the upcoming event. If you have just joined us, you're watching the live joint press conference for today, Friday, December 2nd, 2022, with the Ministry ECYS and also who we have here present, the Acting Minister of TIAT, Omar Otley. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for the media in case you have any questions you'd like to ask. Firstly, I'd like to introduce and welcome Mr. Stephen Cerulean of PJD2. You have the floor. Good morning.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. Good morning. Gentlemen, good morning. Mr. Good morning to you as well. In the interest of clarification, Mr. Jones, you said that it was rather difficult in getting the event off the ground. Can you elaborate a bit more? Give us some insight into your many challenges. And my question is for Mr. Fraser. What kind of a budget is set aside to ensure the success of this event?
Okay, I'll start first. The challenges we met, first of all, as I said before, was finding a venue. And secondly, MMA especially, as I said, we're a customer of boxing, but we never had the officials, and MMA needs special equipment, a cage, which we don't have all either. So we had to get it imported on a temporary basis to have to put up this card. And we also had some challenges with corporate sponsorship. As I said, we started this in February. The idea was to hold it in April, but that couldn't come true because the Carnival Village was written off by the international bodies as not suitable because being open air, should you have showers or something like that, it would really wrecked the program. Then we moved it to August, and we had a understanding for the 10th at the port, but then when we went, it was too late in August and they started taking down for the hurricane season. So those are things that put us back, that we ended up in December. Being from here, I know what it's like when the tourist season starts and it's difficult to get, certain things done. So those are some of the things we had to camp with. But because we have to pay the sanctioning bodies, we couldn't afford to cancel again, because chances are you wouldn't be able to get it. So we decided to follow through on that and see it presented tomorrow evening at the LB Scott Sports Auditorium. But we've brought in a team to do some work at the auditorium. Sure, when you go there, you'll see that it looks different than what you're accustomed of.
Yes. What was the question again? Mine.
Budget. What budget?
What budget?
Our budget is set aside to ensure the success of this event.
To bring off an event like this, the budget that we actually came up with to make this happen was $300. It was over $300,000 to make this event happen. But in a collective and collaborated effort in order to make it happen, the federation, everybody came together and try our best to make this event a success with what we have. It's difficult, but at the end of the day, success is only sweet when there's challenges. And I personally believe that. So giving up because of a budget, we would not do that. We're definitely going to go forward and press forward. The bigger picture for us is to plant the stake in the ground, let the people see what the sports is all about, and that we could collaborate and unite as one. This is the beginning. This is the first journey. So I don't focus merely on what the challenges are. I focus on the goal, and the goal is to make sure we provide a platform, an international platform for our local athletes so that they can be recognized and be appreciated. So we look at the budget, yes, but at the end of the day, we have to actually find ways and means. And with the experience that we bring from an international table, we know how to get around some of those.
Thank you, Stephen, and also thank you, Mr. Fraser and Mr. Jones. Moving on to the next member of the media, Mr. Robert Lecoq from the Daily Herald. You have the floor.
Good morning. Just to clarify, this event, it's boxing and mixed martial arts on two separate rings. Matches happening simultaneously.
Not simultaneously, one after the other.
One after the other.
Boxing, as you know, is done in a ring, but for mixed martial arts has to be done in a cage. You can do kickboxing in a cage also, but they don't do boxing in that. So we have the cage in, and there's a ring available in St. Martin that we don't have to bring in. But the cage is not available here, so we brought one in. So it will be 3 different disciplines at different times. And in kickboxing and mixed martial arts, we have international championship.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the second round of questions. You can also use that time to ask your second question, Mr. Lecoq. Mr. Steven Cerillion of PJD2, you have the floor.
Thank you again. Approximately how many fighters will be here for this event, and can you give us an idea as to where they're coming from?
Sure, I would say that question. As I mentioned before, that we have countries here already, Trinidad and Tobago, we have Curacao here, we have St. Lucia here, we have Grenada here, we have Martinique here, we have, I can't remember all off the top of my head, but we have a few countries here right now. Countries will be coming in again today and also as late as tomorrow morning. Because we're always situated on flights and all of that. We face a little challenge right now with some visas. I'm very transparent and above board for a few of the countries, but we're getting it work out. We're getting it work out right now. So we're gonna do our best to get that happen. Our official card was planned for at least 14 bouts. We have right now in our hand today, 10 bouts definitely confirmed. All right? The first opportunity will be given to the athletes of St. Martin because main priority is to showcase the talent that we have here in St. Martin. I hope that answered the question.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser. Also, thank you, Stephen. Mr. Lecoq of the Daily Herald, you have the floor for the final question.
the officials coming in for the event, they're coming in from outside, or there's a mix of local referees and international?
I want to take that question again. For the MMA part of it, all the officials will be international officials, or well-qualified international officials. Actually, we had our ring announcer, who is our world-renowned announcer, officiating Floyd Mayweather-Tyson bout. He actually fell in the airport. I just received his message this morning, so he would not be here he would not be here again with us. I couldn't even get time to cancel his flight, so we lose that ticket. It's regrettable. Robert Bob Alexander, you could research him, but he promised to be here in the next event. Also, Ronda Rousey promised that the next time we come in here, she want to come to enjoy this beautiful island. Concerning the kickboxing, the local federation, which is run under Marco London, that federation, the St. Martin Kickboxing Martial Art Federation, they are going to be responsible for the officials for the kickboxing part of it.
Thank you for the question posed, and also thank you, Mr. Fraser, for answering that. Minister Otley will allow you to wrap up the press conference.
Thank you, Ms. Dunker. I would like to thank the members of the media for taking your time to come out, showing interest in this initiative. I would like to thank all those involved, all the stakeholders, and I here openly invite the entire island of St. Martin to come out tomorrow to the Sports Auditorium. That's tomorrow, Saturday, December 3rd, to the Sports Auditorium. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Also, a special thank you to the guest speakers who are here. And once again, this live press conference was a joint effort which was made by Minister ECYS and also Acting Minister of TIAT, Omar Otley. Honorable Minister, please thank you once again, members of the media, radio listeners, online viewers, and also radio listeners via St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM. The Mixed Martial Arts, once again, event will take place tomorrow, Saturday, December 3rd, 2022. I am Charity Dunker on behalf of a team over at DCOM. We'd like to thank you very much for tuning in.